Good afternoon and welcome to our Leavers Assembly. I'm sorry we can't seat everyone, but I hope that you can all see at the back as we go through the ceremony this afternoon. And I welcome everybody. Some people come a long way to our Leavers Assembly today. We've got a number of things for you. We've got some musical interludes, we've got guest speakers. But the first person I'm going to introduce to you is our Chair of Governors, Stephen Cox.
Well, hello everybody. Gosh, now I can see right to the back. There are a lot of you standing at the back. I hope it's not too uncomfortable for you. A very, very warm welcome to everybody here, particularly in the audience. We have several of our donors, a special welcome to you. We have parents, guests and friends of the college and of course staff, and particularly we have the second year students for whom this is your special day. I just want to say a few words about how the year has progressed since one of these assemblies this time last year. I think it has been a quite spectacular year, a pioneering year, with many changes and many changes being developed, which have lived up, I think, to the vision of the founders of the college who established the college nearly 50 years ago. We have, as you know, a new principal, John, who joined us at the beginning of the year and has already made a significant impact by developing a new strategic plan for us, which we on the board seem to spend a lot of time discussing. But if I could at this point just say a few words of thanks to Paul Mott, who as acting principal for 18 months did an absolutely splendid job of ensuring that John could come in and take over a very successful operation here. So Paul, thank you very much indeed. Thank you for that, and that is well deserved, I have to say. The sorts of things that we have been developing, you'll know about the Atlantic College Diploma, which is a major change for the college to recognise the range and diversity of the academic and service offering at the college. A new co-curricular programme, which we have been discussing over the past couple of days in our various meetings of the board. A revitalisation of the services programme, and I couldn't have a speech today without mentioning the fact that some of you arrived to be housed in porter cabins and eventually at the beginning of this year moved from porter cabins into the splendidly newly developed Sunley House, which I think I have to thank you all for the way in which you did both suffer the porter cabins and enjoy and seamlessly move into the new house. So thank you particularly. As you probably know, I'm a former student here, and when I left the college, we were faced with a world that was still in the depths of the Cold War, with two very large superpowers facing each other across Europe, a Europe that was still both divided and devastated by two world wars. The world in which you're going to enter is very, very different from that, I'm glad to say. But there are some similarities. Regrettably, we still have conflict between nations. But we now have added conflict from within nations, which we need to address and need to think very deeply about. We have the scourge of international terrorism, which certainly didn't exist in the early 60s. We have something that seems to have dropped out of the press recently, but remains a very severe threat, which is the possibility of a global pandemic because of the way in which we now live our lives with regular jet travel and expect to live in a global environment. There's continues to be, as there was in my day, a huge disparity between the rich and the poor, one that I suspect we haven't really made much impact on in the nearly 50 years since I left the college. And one, again, that is relatively new is the serious threat to the environment and the consequences of the way we inhabit the planet through global warming and the way in which we consume resources, which is causing many, many difficulties for the way in which we live. I know that Atlantic College Education will have provided you with the skills to begin to address these and indeed address some of the problems that we haven't yet identified. And although you will not be at the college next year to celebrate our 50th anniversary, we do hope that you will keep in touch with us and perhaps come to some of the reunions that we are holding as part of the 50th anniversary, and indeed thereafter maintain contact with the college. And I've been asked by the development office specifically to say they hope you will keep in contact with them as you become richer and richer and you can give the college more and more money. That's all I'm going to say on that subject. Enough said. It is actually for me a great privilege to be here on such a happy occasion and to join with you in celebrating your achievements. After 2 years of what must be, and from my recollection was, the most intensive series of experiences you're ever likely to have, living in an international and diverse community in such dramatic and beautiful setting will have exposed you to all manner of challenges, both personally, intellectually and physically. The education has been characterised by a commitment from all those involved to achieve excellence in all aspects of the programme. And I'd just like to thank the staff, particularly, whose hard work and dedication lie behind the excellent education that Atlantic College has to offer. They are a truly magnificent group of people, so I am grateful very much to them. The combination of academic and service has made the education of the college special for over 7,000 students since 1962, and I'm sure it has made it special for you. I left the college in 1965, and I didn't go straight to university. I took a year out and went to Bolivia under a program called Voluntary Services Overseas, VSO. And normally I wouldn't mention this, but I'm delighted that today we have the Chief Executive of VSO, Marg Main, who is a former student as well, and so that link is particularly important, I think, on this occasion. In 1965 in Bolivia, it was a time when, for those interested in Latin American history, Che Guevara had recently moved from the Cuban Revolution to begin, he hoped, a revolution in Bolivia which would spread around the rest of the Latin American continent. That, of course, was not to be, and I should stress, much to my regret, I never met Che Guevara, but never mind, it was a big country, and there you go. I went to Bolivia. A friend of mine actually went from here as an intern to the tax office in Bridgend, and he'd just been there for a week when the telephone rang. It was a Friday afternoon, and he picked up the phone, and the man at the other end said, "Oh, this is the Chief Inspector of Taxes. Can I speak to your boss?" And he replied, "I'm afraid my boss isn't in." "Where is he?" asked the Chief Inspector. To which my friend replied, he's actually still at lunch. At lunch at nearly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. "Well," said my friend, "he's also playing golf." The conversation got worse and worse and worse as it progressed, until eventually the Chief Inspector said, "Do you realise who I am?" To which my friend said, "No, I am the Chief Inspector of Taxes for the whole of Wales." And my friend, having been to Atlantic College, said, "And do you realise who I am?" And the tax inspector looked slightly puzzled and said, "No." "Thank God," said my friend, and put the phone down, very sensibly. To which there really is no response, is there? I think that really, on what is a lovely day and what is a day of great celebration, but I would like to say thank you, and particularly thank you to the Student Council, which has taken a huge amount of work and dedication. And their initiative and the initiative of students here in re-evaluating Kurt Hahn's mission, particularly the personal challenge and outdoor activity in creating the Kurt Hahn activity, is a wonderful example of what individuals can do to change and make a real difference. And I think they should be congratulated on that. And again, through the Student Council, the Council has been incredibly helpful and impressive in terms of supporting us, and they brought a maturity to the table of contributions with the quality of the debate. I don't think I have ever come across such a high quality of input and debate. You have undoubtedly, as a year group, raised the bar of excellence, and the incoming council, I know, is determined to build on this and hopefully and perhaps supersede it. You've also helped to shape ideas as we develop the college's educational offering. And as we consider the type of student we should be educating, your input has been extremely helpful. It represents a significant achievement and a step forward for the college, one that will distinguish us from other regular IB colleges and schools. So I'd just like to end by offering you my very, very best wishes for the future. I really do mean this, and hope that you will keep in touch with the college, and that over the years you will occasionally come back and enjoy the rest of your career, and remember the college and the input that it has had. And I hope, of course, once again that our paths might occasionally cross. Ladies and gentlemen, second year and first year students, thank you very much indeed.
I'm now going to present the Anita Roddick Award. We don't present many awards during this ceremony, but in fact this is the only one we're going to present today, but it's an important one. The Anita Roddick Award was created as an annual award to mark Anita's contribution to the school and to encapsulate all that she represented. It recognises a second-year student who best demonstrates Anita's dual beliefs of I'm an activist and take it personally. A student who has shown great initiative and made a positive difference in a global setting, whether it is in the environment, ecology or human rights, and who has done something to improve a life and or to right a wrong which makes significant change for the good in the world, often in a quiet and unassuming way. So that's what the award is about. I've got, from this person who's going to get the award, I'm just going to read something from their report. Their house parents report. Okay? This is just taking a line or two from the report. It says, "We can honestly say that we have not met many humans, let alone students, like this incredible and adorable young man. He has got more out of life at the college in one day than many get out of 2 years. But more importantly, he has scooped others up along the way and motivated them to extend themselves." Now this person, in the short time I have been at the college, I have seen being involved in virtually everything that goes on. If you want something done, go and see this person. I'm not sure how we are going to survive after he is gone. He has brought extraordinary mental and physical energy to the college. He's embraced the ethos of the college in a dedicated way and in his own way, and I think perhaps more importantly, he's supported other people as he's done this. He's been the co-chair of the Sustainability Council, contributed to virtually every college event, helped to lead the Curtin experiential core activity, and for his motivation, his ideals, his vision, and his passion, we would like this award to go to Runa Mortensen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Runa. Thank you. I'm now going to ask Rosario, who's going to come and play for us and sing for us.
I'll just read I will say in English the first verse of the song I will sing, so you know what the song is about. And it says, "Thank you to life that has given me so much. It's giving me laughter and it's giving me longing, which then I distinguish happiness from pain, the two materials from which my songs are made, and your song as well, which is the same song, and everyone's song, which is my own song." Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me dio dos luceros que cuando los abro perfecto distingo el negro del blanco, y en el alto cielo su fondo estrellado, y en las multitudes el hombre que yo amo. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado el sonido y el abecedario, con las palabras que pienso y declaro. Madre, amigo, hermano y luz alumbrando la ruta del alma del que estoy amando. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me dio el corazón que agita su manto cuando miro el fruto del cerebro humano, cuando miro al bueno tan lejos del malo, cuando miro el fondo de tus ojos claros. Gracias a la vida que me ha dado tanto, me ha dado el sonido y me ha dado el llanto. Así yo distingo dichas de quebrantos, los dos materiales que forman mi canto, y el canto de ustedes que es el mismo canto, y el canto de todos que es mi propio canto. Gracias a la vida, gracias a la vida.
gracias a la vida.
Thank you, Rosario. Thank you. Now, Guillaume is going to speak to us for 5 minutes. Thank you, Guillaume.
Good afternoon, dear friends, fellow students, members of staff, board of governors, and sponsors. Kurt Hans said one day that education must enable young people to effect what they have considered to be right, despite hardships, despite dangers, despite inner skepticism, despite boredom, and despite the mockery from the world. Well, here we are, 339 students from more than 80 countries, all in this old haunted castle of southern Wales. Why did we choose to come here? Why did we choose to come and risk and venture in this challenging experience? Well, I think now has come the time for you, the second years, to reflect on the Atlantic College experience. Tomorrow, you will embark for your new journey. Some will go to the US. Some clever ones will go to Canada. Some other ones will go to UK and across Europe, and many, many will go back home. Well, the fact is that tomorrow you will be Atlantic College alumni. It is now your task to go and discover this wild, mysterious, perilous ecosystem, the outside world. Now it's time for you to step out of the AC bubble and start making a difference. It's true that you might not hear anymore, see the Dave Booker students running around with wooden sticks in the campus, or hear the a cappella choir arousing their vocal cords, or even see by the math department window the further math students having some extra tutorials with the man, the legend, Paul Belcher. Well, in Quebec, where I'm from, we have this national saying that says, "Je me souviens," I remember. And I think that even if you're next year 3,000 miles away in the Amazonian River doing some experiments and some plans under James Mendelssohn's recommendations, well, we would still like you to remember some things. First, remember your achievements, because you have all shown us your strength wherever it may lay. Think of one of our second years, a Kenyan hero, Vincent, who, as an example, so when he arrived here, he could not swim at all. But now he's a lifeguard and he's ready to jump at your rescue. So that's an example. We'll remember as well the good times we spent here together. The mesmerizing soch led by the king of the dance floor, Mubarak. As well as the Sustainability Council led by Erika and this young Dane, this brave Dane, Runa. And we will also remember the Student Council, the Revolutionary Student Council, led by Francis and Bill. I think we'll always remember this young Texan cowboy who renewed with such a vibe Kurt Hans' ideals in the school. So thank you for that. And Francis's minutes will always be remembered. That's true. But I think that most importantly, what we, the first years, want you to remember is how good friends and guides you have been for us throughout the year. For us, the first year, to come here, to step out of our family, to leave our friends, to come here at Atlantic College to live this experience was very hard and frightening for most of us. Well, your presence made the whole difference. And as we're about to leave, Mark Godwin would probably tell you to crack on. Sally, to respect the deadlines. Well, we, the first years, I think we simply want to say thank you for your love and your presence. You're all amazing and beautiful human beings, and you have been our friends, our peer listeners, our model. We'll always remember you and we want to wish you the best luck for the next destination. Now, I want you to remember as well something that Kurt Hans said, which was, it's getting a bit, So Kurt Hans said that there is more in you than you think. So now get ready to get out of there and spread the UWC message around the globe. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you, Guillaume. Now, to entertain us, we have Diego, Caris, Alif, and Andrew.
Hello, everyone. Okay, we're gonna sing a song called "Leaving on a Jet Plane" by John Denver. I hope you enjoy it. Okay.
Oh, my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside the door. I hate to wake you up to say goodbye. But the dawn is breaking, it's early morn. The taxi's waiting, it's going its horn. Already I'm so lonesome I could cry. So kiss me and smile at me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh baby, I hate to go. There's so many times I've waited around, so many times I've let you down. Tell you now that they don't mean a thing. Every place I go, got you. Every song I sing for you. When I come back, I'll wear your wedding ring. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh baby, I hate to go. Now the time's come to leave you. One more time, just let me kiss you. Close your eyes and I'll be on my way. Dream about the days to come when I won't have to sing alone. About the times that I won't have to sing. So kiss me and smile for me. Tell me that you'll wait for me. Hold me like you'll never let me go. 'Cause I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Oh baby, I hate to go. 'Cause I'm
I'm now very pleased to be able to introduce our guest speaker, Marg Main. Marg has had a very successful career running large charitable organisations. She was a student here at Atlantic College between 1979 and 1981 in a house that was called Glover House. I'm not sure which one that is now. Does anyone know what Glover?
I think it's been demolished.
It's gone altogether. Because the houses, have, as you probably know, have changed their names quite a lot. I'm going to quote a comment from the yearbook of that year. The sharks I dodged, the tigers I slew, what ate me up were the bedbugs. You don't get those now, of course. And Marg said her ambition then was to be a postman. She spent 7 years as Director of Finance and Resources in the British Council, which is the second largest charity, I think, in the UK. She worked in social housing in a very senior position, but in 2008 she joined VSO, which is the Voluntary Service Overseas, as Chief Executive, and is responsible for the strategic direction of VSO. VSO is a huge organisation, very influential organisation that a lot of people have been involved with over the years. Perhaps 30, 40 years ago, particularly younger people, but now a mixture, quite a lot of people who work for VSO after they've finished their main career. So there's hope for me, possibly, eventually, when I leave here. She's also held a number of non-executive roles, including her current role as chair of the Akram Khan Dance Company, which has got a high profile in the international dance world. Marg Main.
Chairman of the Governors, all the Governors, Headmaster, staff, and most of all, you, fantastic, wonderful, marvellous students. What a fantastic body we've got in the room today. It makes me really proud, and I want to say a huge, huge thank you for inviting me here today as a former student to celebrate your achievements. I didn't realise the first thing I was going to also say was that I clearly recruited a new volunteer for VSO, but more of that later. And it's a particular honour because it's 2012, this 50th anniversary of Atlantic College. And I was thinking back to how it must have been for those pioneers in 1962. And then I realised that actually 1962 was the same year that I was born. So as I turn 50 along with Atlantic College, I'd like to thank you also, Governors, for reminding me of my age. But I've got another thank you, which is to thank you for my present, which I believe awaits me tonight, a free overnight stay in a medieval castle. I was talking to my old dorm mate, Debbie, who was really very excited for me. She said, wow, you know, you're going to be in a beautiful room. You'll probably be in the blue room. You'll be up in the tower overlooking the top lawn. You'll maybe even sleep in the same bed as the Dalai Lama slept in. I was getting very excited coming down here. And then I got a text message from Jill, who is now I'm the Governors, a vice chair of the Governors, and was on my college mate at Atlantic College as well. And she said, don't worry, still tiny single bed and Alpen for breakfast, no problem. So, having established my credentials as a middle-aged old wrinkly, I now feel thoroughly well qualified to expound to you lots of virtues and share with you my wisdom acquired over the years. I hope you've got a few hours to spend. That won't matter, will it? You know, you've got nothing else better to do tonight. And then I thought that might go down rather like a lead balloon. So I decided just to talk about two things. And this is it. Today, I want to talk to you about two things, but actually one concept, with two elements in it, that are apparently opposed, but in fact are entirely complementary. A little bit like yin and yang, a little bit like hand and glove. I want to talk to you about the ordinariness that makes people extraordinary. And I also want to talk to you about the extraordinariness that lies hidden often in being ordinary. Did you get that? Okay, well, listen on. So we all love famous people, right? We all have heroes, we all admire them, we dream of meeting them, what would it be, what would it be like? And when it happens, sometimes to be quite frank, it's a bit of a disappointment. We find that our heroes are shallow, a bit superficial, they've got nothing to say, they're too tied up in their own endeavours and their own entourage to do anything. They're too taken up with their own talent and their own dizzy heights of success that actually they've forgotten how to be themselves. And our dreams are shattered. But then there are others, the ones that are really impressive in the flesh. No matter what field they've been in, no matter what dizzy heights they've achieved, they invariably have one great quality that unites them, and that is being really down to earth. It's that human part of them, that really ordinary part of them, that we end up loving them most for. So one of my heroes is Desmond Tutu. I've never had the privilege of meeting him. But he's always, for me, been at the forefront of justice, the forefront of human rights, in incredibly difficult and challenging circumstances. And he always wears his personality and his values really loudly and proudly. You can't mistake him for anything. And you can't mistake his humanity. And have you ever watched a video of Desmond Tutu? Have you ever seen how he laughs? He absolutely stands there, throws his head back, and laughs. It's the most infectious laugh ever, and I would challenge any of you to watch him for a couple of minutes and not just join in. And that simple thing that he does is the thing that he touches us with, and that's, for me, why he's really a very special hero, a very special man. It's that ordinary thing of laughing that he does. Atlantic College isn't short of royal connections. So one of my great memories in Atlantic College was when I went on a London trip. I don't know if it still exists, but at the time we would all get off in a coach and we'd all go up to London to visit the capital. At the time when I was at Atlantic College, Prince Charles was our patron. Now, Prince Charles, I guess, was about 15 years older than me, but certainly born into a very extraordinary position in life. And one of our second years had written to him a bit of a cheeky letter, frankly, saying, "Hi, Charles, just to let you know that a few of us are coming up to London, and we wondered if we could pop by and say hello." So, okay, caused a few laughs at a time, pretty much forgotten about. Imagine the surprise when the letter came back and said, "Yeah, sure, it'd be lovely to have a few of you and your friends around for a drink. Why don't you come on down?" So there we were, the whole coachload of us, the entire year, driving into Buckingham Palace, walking up the red carpet, up the steps, having a few drinks, having a few more drinks, probably a few drinks too many. Went home, dazed, completely delighted by what had just happened. And I will always remember how much I respected that ordinary part of Prince Charles that got this letter, that decided to have a human and playful response to what was really a very cheeky thing to do, and something like that to come from somebody in his extraordinary position. So now I'm looking at you all, and I'm thinking that you also might feel a bit extraordinary. I guess you might have been best at school at home, you stood out from the crowd in some way, you were picked to come to AC, and AC is an amazing place. And you've had an incredible 2 years, the ones that are leaving. You've experienced the highs, the lows. You feel a bit special, you feel a bit different, you feel a bit extraordinary. And you should do. You should feel really, really proud of what you've done. You've done an unusual and incredible and wonderful thing. And if you're anything like me, you'll have made friendships that are deep and diverse and last a lifetime. But as well as carrying that with you, remember too to value the ordinariness about you. The ordinariness, the everyday stuff that connects you with your family, with your current friends, laughing, eating, playing, working. Remember your humanity and connect with theirs. Don't stay aloof. Show them who you are. And remember, there is extraordinary power in being ordinary. But it's yin and yang, and the inverse is also true. Ordinary people are so often extraordinary, and I think that quote from Cartan really says it all. We have all got much more in us than we might believe. And I should know this. I'm really well qualified to say this, because my job as Chief Executive of VSO, my entire organisation is full of ordinary people who do extraordinary things all the time. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about VSO. At VSO, we believe fundamentally that the world should be a more equal place. We believe in a world without poverty. Some people say, you know, there's rich people, there's poor people, that's just a fact of life, it's a bit idealistic, don't even bother trying to change it. You know, VSO people say, well, yeah, it might be a bit idealistic, but it's still not fair. It's not fair that 900 million people in this world go to bed hungry. It's not fair that 2.5 times that 2.5 billion people don't even have access to sanitation, to toilets. It's not fair that 70 million kids can't go to school. It's not fair that every 6 seconds a child dies of malnutrition, or that every 45 seconds a child dies of malaria, or that every minute a woman somewhere in the world dies in pregnancy or childbirth, much of which could have been avoided with proper health care. It's not fair that last year, for the first time, the number of people living on less than $1 a day surpassed 1 billion people. So VSO people say poverty is not fair, and they are extraordinary because they do something about it. They volunteer. So Fiona is a really ordinary person from Northern Ireland that I know, and I know her, I met her, and I know where she's from because I'm from Northern Ireland too. She trained as a paediatrician, as a child doctor, so far so ordinary. When I met Fiona, she was in Freetown in Sierra Leone, which is the capital of Sierra Leone, and she was volunteering with VSO. I don't quite know what made her go there. She probably wanted to make a difference. Perhaps she also was curious, adventurous. Perhaps she wanted to escape. Maybe there's a little bit of reasons why you came to AC, which is why Fiona went to Sierra Leone. But anyway, I met her there. I found her as a paediatrician in the Children's Hospital in Freetown. And in that hospital, there were 6 children dying every day. There was an incredible lack of resources. There was no lab to even do basic tests on blood or urine. There was little or no dressings or medication. You know, there was no running water, and it was the main children's hospital in the capital of Sierra Leone. It was really unbelievable. And Fiona had landed in this situation, and she found it very, very difficult. You know, for her, it was her living nightmare, trained as a paediatrician, to be in an environment where she really knew what needed to be done, but didn't have the resources to do it. You know, this for her was the worst thing in the world. And actually, it got to the point where it was really unbearable. After 3 months, she was really had her head in her hands saying, I don't think I can do this anymore. I really want to leave. I want to go back. This year volunteering with VSO was a real mistake. It was a real mistake. And then she dug deep, as we all have to do at times, and she found something extraordinary in herself. She realized that actually her work there wasn't to go out and save lives. Her work was to focus on supporting Sierra Leoneans to save lives. So she changed her tack, working alongside the Sierra Leonean professionals, the paediatrician, one paediatrician, in the whole country of the state system in Sierra Leone, one. She was working alongside him. The doctors, the nurses, the matron. She helped them develop systems in the hospital that would really last well beyond her time. She helped them say, when a child came into the hospital, does this child have 1 day, 1 week, 1 month to live? Let me think then, and having assessed that, where I'm going to put this child so they get the best treatment. She worked with parents, showing parents what was infectious, what wasn't infectious, how to continue to interact and care for their child while they were sick. And her work even spread to the caretaker. You know, the caretaker was sitting, and occasionally the electricity would often go out, the electricity supply, and the caretaker would be there, you know, and looking at his nails and reading the paper and chilling out, and then he'd finally go over and wander and turn the switch on for the generator. Through the work that she did with the team in the hospital, that caretaker realised that the quicker he got to that generator, the faster the oxygen would go back on for the children in the oxygen tents, and the fewer children would die. And he recognised that as well. He was the one also that recognised that by the time Fiona left, there was 1 child a day dying in that hospital rather than 6 children dying. Fiona is extraordinary. Not because she's a brilliant professional, although she is a brilliant professional, but because she drew on all of her ordinary background and said, actually, if I tackle this problem in a different way, with lots of other ordinary people, together we can do something extraordinary and make life better for a whole lot of people. So we're not all doctors like Fiona. And like the graduates of the previous 50 years, you will go into many, many different professions. You'll go into business, into public service, agriculture, technology. But whatever you do, remember that apparently ordinary people have something really extraordinary in them. So look for it, recognize it, and truly value it. So, we're here to celebrate your success and your achievements. And I think I would really like to celebrate that really ordinary part of you, the part of you that will stay rooted and connected, the part of you that will remember that you're human, just like your neighbour, that you all hurt the same, and that you all love the same. But I also think we're here to celebrate that incredible, extraordinary part of all of you, the part that Kurtan was talking about, to keep aspiring to be the very best you can be, and to do the things that you never imagined possible. You will absolutely surprise yourself. And the important thing for me, for what I'm trying to say today, is this yin and yang thing, you know, that it goes together. It's about celebrating both at the same time. It's about reaching for the stars while keeping your feet on the ground, and you will inspire others to do the same. So, I guess it's my huge privilege today to have a wish for you all, and I've chosen one thing as a parting wish. I would wish for each of you that you use both your ordinariness and your extraordinariness to make a difference in this world, to make it a little better, a little fairer, and a little happier than you found it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Marge, for those inspirational words. And I think that your career is an example of what Atlantic College students can achieve in making a difference in the world, and that you all can go out and make that difference. Thank you. I'm going to ask Jacob now to come up and play for us. Thank you.
I'm gonna play a song for the second years, and it's originally written by Fleet Foxes, but Audrey and I have changed the lyrics a little bit. So here it goes. Oh, second years, are you still leaving us tonight? We heard that you missed bus 145 to London Heathrow, leaving the land of sea. river will come with us anytime you like. Let's go to the seaside and revive our nocturnal night ride. And we won't get worried, no. And we won't get worried, no. And you won't get weary, we're sure you will be fine. We love you, we love you, oh siblings so kind. In the quivering forest, where the dead lady and rest, there's a withered old castle that we made our dear nest. And the valley got rainy, and the fridges got empty, and a yellow moon glowed bright till the morning light. Promise you will miss your flights, or at least that you'll ride in the quivering forest, where the dead lady and rest. There's a withered old castle that we made our dear nest, and the valley got rainy, and the fridges got empty, and the day rooms lit up the night till the morning light. Promise you will miss your flights, or at least that you'll rise, please.
Thank you, Jacob. Can I now invite Francis to come up and give the Leavers response?
I don't think I've ever really understood the idea behind graduation. At least, I didn't until I came to UWC Atlantic College. Growing up in a small village in northwest England, graduation from my previous high school was far more exciting in principle than in reality. It seemed to me that we didn't really understand the significance of such a ceremony, given that school was just where we went for lessons, and the majority of students would be staying on for the 2 years of sixth form anyway. Our high expectations, at least for me, were down to how graduation can be portrayed in the media. I don't know how many of you have seen Legally Blonde. Reese Witherspoon plays a stereotypical dumb blonde character that goes to Harvard Law School and eventually becomes the hero of the year group. In the final scene, she gives a graduation speech to a crowd of little hats and scrolls with all the emotions of a significant milestone. That was my perception of graduation, and I had never experienced nor quite understood it. However, standing here today on the 22nd of May 2012, its meaning is becoming clear. Graduation means welcoming friends, families, and staff here in the audience, and those watching the live stream around the world, those who made it possible for us to be here today, united. It means celebrating, together, 2 years of UWC magic. This magic has formed us into young global citizens from a group of children at first camp that most probably looked like the wannabe cast of a Lord of the Flies remake. Graduation means expressing our gratitude for these people, the ones that have made this journey possible. Without their unconditional support and belief, we would not have second homes in over 80 different countries. We would not have forgotten how to communicate in the outside world, because now our every sentence begins, well, at AC. We would not have learned to swear in more languages than we can say hello in. But most importantly, we would not be able to call ourselves a part of an unbreakable international family. Between August 2010 and May 2012, we have created our own little world here, our microcosm, our perfect sanctuary. Like in the outside world, we've had different leaders make an impact in our society. 3, to be exact. Neil Richards welcomed and inspired us with a characteristic warm smile and speeches that have resonated somewhere within us all. Paul Mott was outstanding in keeping the college together, so much so that it was easy to believe that the college was in changing hands. Now that John Walmsley is here, his work has already assured us that the college will retain its exemplary nature. And we can't forget the tireless work of our Vice Principal. Nick, as the Welsh would say, we think you're lush. Like in the outside world, we've witnessed actions of exceptional talent by our students. The successes of the Kurt Hahn Experiential Core showed us that the foundational purpose of the college has not been lost. And AC Kayaking showed us the determination of young people to face dangerous challenge in order to make a difference, to name but a couple. Like in the outside world, we've had our fair share of natural disasters. The Sunley Fire showed us the strength of the bond between housemates, no matter what race, religion, or creed, and the true extent of compassion a community can have for its fellows. However, unlike in the outside world, where news stories are most commonly facts and statistics, here at UWC Atlantic College, news stories become faces and friends. One particularly powerful moment was after the 2011 earthquake in Japan. Watching the news on the breakfast room television, virtually every person stopped to ask the Japanese student stood by me if her family was safe. That's the power of a UWC experience. We learn that as members of the human race, we belong to each other, and that nationality is not a boundary for the compassion of human beings. Graduation means accepting that in the past 2 years we have lived and learned to the best of our ability. Graduation means accepting that however hard you try, the Asians just don't understand one can't eat a Yorkshire pudding with their fingers. Graduation means we must allow our beautiful first years to take over. As the 50th anniversary approaches, the class of 2012 can be sure our legacy will not be lost, but that our contribution to this college will be taken on a new, energized path. First years, it is with great excitement that we leave you in the hands of the brilliant Dave Booker as the pioneers of the UWC Atlantic College Diploma. We know that you will ensure the spirit of UWC is alive and blossoming, and even though you have a busy year ahead, try not to forget us. Graduation is today, the 22nd of May 2012, so let's make it our own. It is the affirmation that we have become united by our diversity, that in these 2 years we have grown as a generation, not just as individuals. That we have learned to represent ourselves, our countries, and the UWC movement as a whole. Graduation means we have truly become an international family of young global citizens. As we go home to our respective countries, we take with us the knowledge that this world belongs to us, because we now know that the difference between nationalities is not a boundary to us. Whether we've realized it yet or not, this place has changed us, helped us, and prepared us to take action for the benefit of the greater global community. We are part of UWC and part of this world, and we must never forget that in all that we do, as we work towards peace and a sustainable future. When we come to UWC Atlantic College, it's the friends that are the most significant aspect, while the beauty of our daily life and our opportunities here are often forgotten. When we leave, we can find the people again, but the place, the atmosphere, that moment in time, that's what we'll miss. One Finnish friend told me that universumi pitää huolen meistä, meaning, as even the Finnish speakers won't understand my terrible accent, the universe will protect us. May the universe protect you all. And although we can never repeat these past 2 years, may we meet again in the future with our wildest hopes and dreams fulfilled. Amongst the nostalgia of this little castle, some of that precious atmosphere may come back to us. Here's to hoping. For me, graduation means that I can stand up here today to say to you what I've wanted to for months. UWC Atlantic College is the place I've felt most at home and the happiest I've ever been. My international family, you are my life. To you, I'm eternally grateful. And well, I'm not exactly sure how to end a speech like this. A wise vice principal told me that using a quote would make me sound intelligent. So, probably not what he had in mind, but in the spirit of Reese Witherspoon and Legally Blonde, congratulations, class of 2012. We did it!
Thank you, Francis, for those very intelligent words. And thank you very much indeed. Can I invite the a cappella choir to come up now to entertain us? Thank you. Thank you very much, the a cappella choir. I've now, well, two things I want to do actually. The first thing I want to do is I want to acknowledge the leavers, the second year leavers. I want to acknowledge their gift that they've given the college, the money they've collected as leavers to donate to the college, which of course I hope is just the first donation that you will make as alumni. But it's great that you've done that together and collectively done that, and that is a gift that we have got. So thank you very much for the money that you have raised for the college that you've obviously enjoyed so much while you've been here. So thank you very much for that. A number of things I've been given to do today, and one is I've been given the task of acknowledging the leavers on the staff, which is something that is a very important thing for us to do. But when I got the list here, I noticed that some of these people had left quite some time ago and are not actually here. And I wondered why this was the case, but then I realised, of course, that I'm acknowledging people who have left since the last Leavers Assembly. So I'm going to start by just saying these people who did leave. We had Angela Silkstone, who was an English teacher, who left on the 31st of August 2011, and Ray Silkstone, head of history, who left on the same date. Neil David, who worked down in the IDP, left on the 31st of August as well. Alexandra Wynne Smith, who was the marketing manager in the development department, and left on the 12th of November. Jenna Miles, one of our cooks, assistant cook, left us on the 15th of January. Isma Noor has been teaching German and covering Suzanne Sonnach's maternity leave. She's leaving the Faculty of Languages, but she's taking on the role of a house parent at Whittaker House from the 1st of August, so she's not really leaving us, just changing her role. Katie Phillips left the Development Department on the 9th of March. Those of you who went to the House of Lords, Katie was the person who did a lot of the organising for that. Emma Brown was also covering some of Suzanne's maternity leave, left us on the 27th of April. And now we move on to the teachers who are leaving us, who I think are here today. And the first one I want to mention is David Reed, who is... has taught maths here and is moving on to Malvern School, and also has been very strong in the lifeguards and has very good floppy hair. I wish I had hair still. So we thank David for his work and wish him well as he moves on to Malvern. Sue Belcher. Sue Belcher, of course, the wife of our legendary maths teacher, who was doing a fixed-term contract in chemistry, and I think will probably be doing a little bit of work next year as well, so she's not really probably leaving us permanently, but we'll mention her anyway. Thank you to her for her work. Susan Sonnach, who has been teaching in the German department, in the language department, and is now going back to Germany, and so we thank Susan for her work. Robbie Young, who's been an instructor in the Atlantic Outdoor Centre. Thank you, Robbie. We wish you well in what you do next year. Alison Roberts is another person who's sort of leaving but not leaving. She's leaving as a house parent, but she's carrying on as one of our nurses, so she'll still be here. And this leads me to the last member of staff who I need to mention here, who is James Mendelson. James started here in 1972. That's nearly before I was born. No, that was a joke, I'm afraid it's not. But been here a very, very long time. Did have a break, went to for a sabbatical to Hawaii. I don't know how I managed to get that. And then worked in Italy for 5 or 6 years. So a bit of a break in the middle, but James is a legend here and is remembered by countless number of alumni. So thank you very much, James. We wish you very well in your future too. And it just remains for me to say a few words. I am one of the newest people here in the college. I've obviously been here for about 5 months now. I'm not sure whether it seems like longer or less. No, it seems like 5 months. And I have to say that I have enjoyed every minute of it. This place is a unique place. It is a vibrant place. It is a place full of energy. It's a place full of ideas. Dave Booker said today in the meeting that when he moved to Atlantic College, he was looking for somewhere where he could have an argument with a student, and he's had a discussion with a student, not an argument. And he's had that a hundredfold here because we have got thinking students here. You are an extraordinary bunch, and can I thank Mark for just pointing out how important the ordinary is within the extraordinary there, to ground you and to seat you in the world that you are moving into. This is the only place I have worked where the mission, the UWC mission, I'll just read it to you in case you can't remember it. UWC makes education a force to unite people, nations and cultures for peace and a sustainable future. I think that is a mission that I've never been to a place that has run through everything within that institution and is known so well by its students who will quote it to you. I've just come back from a meeting in New York with the other heads of all the other heads of the UWC colleges, and we were looking at a model of the education that we offer within the UWC movement. And we wanted it to be a graphic model that we could see quite easily, and we all got a bit carried away with it in that we wanted to be animated, and so it would move around and lots of flashing lights and lovely films and things. And but what we all decided was right in the centre of that are the students. Right in the centre of that are the students. Because for you coming here, as for I think all the other UWC institutions, the most important thing is the people you meet here, the students you spend time with. And you are, the second years amongst you are about to become alumni. Now that is a huge responsibility. Atlantic College is not a 2-year experience. You will, I know, keep in touch. I've met a lot of alumni recently, in the few months that I've been involved with the college, and they all speak so passionately about their time here and about the future of Atlantic College. And you have this tremendous responsibility. One of the sort of the feelings of responsibility you will have, you'll want to keep it as it was when you were here, which when there's quite a few years of Atlantic College, that makes it slightly difficult sometimes. But what that really means is you want to keep that essence. You want to keep that humanity, that shared humanity, that fun, that excitement you had here. And nothing will be quite the same. I think one thing that to me that stands out is as perhaps the most important thing in enabling you to go out and make a difference is developing this understanding of how other people think and how other people live, about the problems that people might have and how they deal with them. And it really boils down to empathy and how important empathy is. in understanding the world, but being able to relate to the world and therefore change the world. We're saying goodbye to the second years today. We're saying goodbye, obviously, to the first years who are going off today, and we'll say more goodbyes to the second years tomorrow. But we thank them for everything they have done for the college and for continuing to make sure the college is what it is. And I know in my role as principal of the college that I will get plenty of advice from students as I go through my time here. Another thing that does strike me here is the strong relationship between the year groups, between the first year and the second year. It's a 2-year course, of course, which makes that stronger. In many schools I know there's often quite a tension between year groups. They're quite competitive, and the first year sixth form perhaps don't think so much of the second year sixth form, and the second year sixth form think the first year are a lot of upstarts, really. That doesn't seem to be the case here. It might be occasionally, I suppose. But there is a very strong relationship. People talk about my first years or my second years. When I meet alumni 50 years ago, they still talk about my first years and my second years. It's a very, very important link. And the second years who are moving up, the first years who are moving up to become second years, you have a really big responsibility as well when the new first years arrive in August. With a course that only lasts for 2 years, that is such an important time. When you meet the new first years coming in and you pass on the wisdom that you've been passed on by your second years, you have a great responsibility then. And how you react and how you work with those people when they come in, as you did last August, how you work with them and how you welcome them and how you tell them about the college and its ways. That's very, very important. And of course, it's the 50th year next year. You will be entering the second year in its 50th year. So that's a very important year for you, and there'll be lots of celebrations going on. I think those celebrations will resonate all around the world. Lots of plans for that to happen, because when you've been to Atlantic College, you were always an Atlantic College student. You're always a member of the UWC movement. Wherever you are in the world, you will find people who've been to one of these colleges, and that you will always have someone you will be able to link with, you'll be able to empathise with, will understand you. To start with, you might find that the new places you go to don't seem to have the vitality that this place did. But I'm sure that the lessons you've learned here will enable you probably to relate to those places, to relate to those people, and probably end up running them. I'm sure that will be the case. So all I want to say at the end is have a good summer and have a good life. Thank you very much.